I'm Mimi Baines and these are my top 5 moments on track from the Formula 1 2022 season. Let's get straight into it. And at number 1, and the first one on the list, has to be George Russell's win in Brazil this year. It felt like it's been a long time coming for George. Obviously he made the move from Williams last year to Mercedes, and just seeing how happy he was to finally get that maiden win was absolutely beautiful. It could not have gone to anyone so more well deserving than George. He's put in all the hard work at Williams. He kind of would have expected to come to Mercedes and to be winning right from the start, but that isn't what's happened. But he has finally got there, and he has actually got the only win for Mercedes this season, with Lewis failing to achieve one throughout the whole season. The second one for me has to be at Silverstone, and it's the battle that's between Hamilton, Sainz and Perez, and that iconic bit of commentary from Crofty when he goes Hamilton. It is just so like, probably gives you shivers and everything. It is just absolutely incredible. These cars 100% this year have shown us that they can battle closer, and there's a couple of battles that are actually on my list for my top moments of the season, just because the quality of the racing that we were getting was so good. And this one at Silverstone. Silverstone had been a good race anyway. We obviously had the crash at the start, but having those three so close together was just absolutely insane. And it was actually probably the first time we saw Mercedes looking strong again, as after they had such a poor start to the beginning of the season. So it was great to see Lewis Hamilton doing a double overtake, which I'm sure he's done plenty of before. But in this car this year, it just meant a whole lot more. My third favourite moment from the 2022 season has got to be Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc battling in Saudi Arabia, when we had about 3 laps of them just constantly changing position, one after the other. Whoever was in front would get DRS, the person behind would get DRS, they would overtake, around the first corner, second corner, other one would swap back, and they've just constantly did that for about 3 laps. And being so early in the season, I think that was the first real glimpse that we got of just how different these cars were this year. And as I've mentioned, obviously we had the battle in Silverstone. This is another moment for me that just showed us how good the rule changes and the engine regulations that we've had this year, how good they've been, and how much closer they have brought the racing. And even in the second race of the season, I think this might have been, it just shows how good they are. And I know I keep repeating that, but I don't think I can emphasise it enough. My fourth moment has actually nothing to do with the race. It is qualifying, and it is K-Mag on pole position in the Haas. I don't have any words for this. That was just absolutely incredible for him, just out of nowhere to come through and just be on pole in Brazil. Obviously he didn't hold it. Max Verstappen and George Russell got past him, so he did end up falling back through the order in the sprint race. But for a Haas to be on pole, given the poor season they had last year, finishing last in the Constructors' Championships, and they looked strong at the beginning of this season, but they had really tailed off up to this point. And the whole race started in a Haas sandwich with Kevin Magnussen on pole and Mick Schumacher in P20, so it truly just shows how great it was for K-Mag to be on pole. Obviously he was helped by the rain and the safety car and George Russell's little spin, but it was, no one can do a review of this season and not mention K-Mag's pole position. It is just insane. And my final favourite on-track moment from 2022 has got to be Hamilton and Verstappen battling for the lead again at the Circuit of the Americas. I know, very, very cliche. Obviously last year we had them battling together the whole way through the season, but for me, I just really loved seeing them battle together and so closely. Given how bad Mercedes were at the beginning of the season, for them actually to be fighting Max again as they were last year, I really enjoyed seeing it. And I think it's so interesting to see how they battle. Those two battle each other so differently to how they battle anyone else. They do not give each other an inch. And getting to see that again, even if it was just for a couple of laps this season, was just great for me. And I think it gave such great racing. Obviously Max did go on to win, but Lewis definitely put up a fight. Thank you so much for watching this video. What were your top 5 moments from the 2022 season on track? Drop them in the comments below, I'd love to hear. See you in my next video.